excited to be shooting a WWD cover. I think it's the authority in beauty business, and I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be shooting today.
E.T. catching up with Kim K behind the scenes of her women's wear daily cover shoot, talking her new fragrance, her partnership with the app Screenshop, and family.
Not only is business growing, family is growing too. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And what has been the adjustment sort of going through this with a surrogate this time?
You know, it's really different. Anyone that says or thinks it's just the easy way out is completely wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's so much harder to go through it this way because you're not really in control. And, you know, obviously you pick someone that you completely trust and that you have a really good bond and relationship with. But it's still knowing that I was able to carry my first two babies and not, you know, my baby now, that is hard for me. So it's definitely a harder experience than I anticipated just in the control area.
Right.
I hated being pregnant, and I never thought I thought this was going to be so easy.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I still, even in how much I hated it, if I could do it myself, I would have preferred that. So that's a little like that inner struggle is kind of hard, but I'm just rolling with it, and it's still a process that you have to really digest. It's still, you know, figuring out, which I'm really honest with my kids, but even just answering the questions,
right.
And even the fact that it's happening and you do forget sometimes, because I think when you are pregnant, by the time you have the baby, you're so prepared and so ready, and now I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to freak out because I'm not ready and I'm not prepared, but it'll just all come into place.
Are the kids excited?
They are excited. I mean, I don't know if they don't feel it as much because they don't see my big belly and probably hear me complaining every 2 seconds. So but we do talk about it a lot. So they will, I think they're really excited. I think my son, I don't know how he's going to react because he doesn't get it yet, but my daughter's really excited.
Now, I wanted to speak about this issue with Kim Kardashian because she has a surrogate that is carrying her and Kanye's child because she said she could not do it. Now, going by her words, if, you know, that is the case and she could not give birth or carry another child, that does line out with an article that I read that on average, Caucasian women by the time they're 32 cannot give birth to children. And personally, I do believe that things can affect a group of people as a collective, even though everybody didn't come in agreements to it, but it can affect a group of people when something is sinister and insidious that is going on against another group of people by them. And we all know about Planned Parenthood because this kind of fits with Caucasians. They have a lot of fertility clinics. Myself in different jobs, there were Caucasian women who would call in just wanting to know that if they got this insurance, would it pay for fertility treatments? And they're having this issue with getting pregnant and being able to carry a child and carry on their group. But within our community, there are a lot of Planned Parenthoods. A lot of children in the tens of millions have died because of Planned Parenthood, and a lot of women will say it's my right, I can do this if I want to, but they don't look at the history of what that is about. Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, and she basically wanted to commit genocide on the black community. She wanted to kill black people while they were still in the womb. She wanted to prevent them from taking their first breath and being born into the world. That makes Planned Parenthood a very evil, sinister corporation. And Also, there are videos out there of people donating money and wanting to know if they could donate money specifically for a black child to be aborted. There are videos of people who are connected with Planned Parenthood who were selling fetal tissue. If you look at the CDC website, you will see fetal bovine. That's what they use in vaccines. It's also sold to different companies where they test their products. What they offer as food to us, which is not food, it's garbage, but they will test it on fetal tissue. And that is how Planned Parenthood is making its money, off of the body parts of black people, off of the genocide of black people. It's very sickening and stomach turning. But you can see how within the Caucasian community, because this is going on, and because this is being pushed as a woman's right thing, you see a lot of Caucasian women are not exercising their right. They are actually having fertility clinics in their area, and they're trying to get pregnant by any means necessary and wanting to have all of these children. You can see how they're saying this is for women and all women, but they're not going to partake because they're not, they understand that they have to keep their lineage going, and they'll do that by any means necessary. They're not going to kill their children. They're not going to lessen their numbers. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people saying it's my choice. What about rape and incest? It's rarely about rape and incest. It's about economic situations. It's about not wanting the responsibility of another child or of a child, period. Is mostly when women walk into that house of death. And we've had, like I said, tens of millions of innocent lives snuffed out through genocide. Just knowing the founder and what she thought about us is enough to make me not want anything to do with it. And it has nothing to do with women's rights. It has to do with scrubbing black people from the face of the earth, which will never happen. But I wanted to take a look at the article. Here it says that the surrogate that is carrying her baby is African American. Now, I'll be interested to see if this baby comes out looking like her other two children, or if this baby comes out looking completely black, because we know this family has an obsession with black women. And what's unbelievable to me is that she was able to get a black woman to go ahead and agree with this, but if she's in college, she wants to pay for schooling and she doesn't want to be in debt. This is a way that, some people will make money. They will go ahead and give their babies to someone, or they will become a surrogate and they will be paid to have children. But to me, there's something very sinister about this, because the trend now is a lot of Caucasian couples and are wanting black children. They are adopting black children. And there's something very, very just not right about it, because it's so many that's doing it. And when the collective of them start getting together and doing something, whatever they're planning cannot be good. We know about organ harvesting. We know about, children being made slaves. We know about young children being beaten and killed, and they were specifically black children. It's just something about that. It does not sit right with me. And what a lot of people will be saying, one thing people might say is that she decided to get a surrogate because she didn't want to lose her shape and her figure. She did put on some weight with her first 2 pregnancies, and she didn't want to go through either the workout plan and the restrictions or the surgery to get her body back into Hollywood acceptable shape. So she decided to pay a woman to carry her child. But what bothers me is this woman doesn't look like her. This woman is a black woman, and people will say, well, it's her egg and Kanye's sperm, but still, it's weird. That is something that I am interested in finding out, if this child will look like her other children, or will it look like what she and her family, all her sisters, have always wanted to be, a black woman. Even though people can say that, and that is something that is credible, I mean, you know, it still is not a good look. You are so self-absorbed. You are so narcissistic that you would have someone carry your child for you because you don't want to go through the hassle of trying to get back in shape after you made that choice to give birth and become a mother and have a child. You don't want to go through the not so good things of childbirth, and you just want to prance around in your dresses and go to your appearances and make more shitty ass products and do interviews and take pictures, and then after all of the hard work is done, then you want the end result. And it still goes back to slavery to me, when black women basically were breastfeeding their children. They were raising their children while they were doing the neighbor, while they were doing whatever they were doing. Maybe out in slave quarters messing with the men. But this reminds me of that. So either way you look at it, you know, it being sinister that maybe she wants to have a fully black child. Very weird. Having a black surrogate, and also the fact that she may just not want to go through the issues of giving birth. It still has a sinister tone to it, and you cannot rule out the fact that it is a big issue. And like I said, from personal interactions with Caucasian women seeking fertility treatments and insurance to cover it, I do know that there is an issue. As Caucasian women get older, they find it harder to give birth, to be able to do that. Because personally, in my family, there's not that issue. My mother gave birth to me when she was turning 40. So that's not really an issue. No one's in our family has had an issue with getting pregnant. It's just trying to get them to stop doing it so much because they are overwhelmed with the children that they have. But the reason why I tied this situation to the Planned Parenthood issue is because I do believe that as a collective of people, this barrenness has fallen upon them because one of their own has pushed Planned Parenthood as something that is a woman's right, something that is for all women, to help women, when basically a large portion of them are in the black community. It is marketed towards black women, and this latest brazen declaration from Planned Parenthood, again founded by Margaret Sanger. You can look at all the sick shit that she said about Black people regarding upon establishing Planned Parenthood. There's several videos out there about people donating the money specifically for Black babies to be killed. You know about You know about body parts of babies that are being sold. You know that's happening. And also, like I said, you can always go to the CDC website and see the fetal bovine used in the vaccines. And if they are using it for vaccines, you know that they are using it in other things as well. Now, this said that Planned Parenthood tweeted on Tuesday about how it is safer for an African American woman. Please notice they did not say all women. They specifically said Black women here in America. Black women here. How it is safer for African American women to have an abortion than to carry a fetus to term. Not saying that if you suffer, a traumatic event where you were raped, there was incest, or you have a medical issue. No, it's just that we feel that it's safe for you to go ahead and kill the baby than to carry it to term. Just from the pits of hell. The country's largest abortion provider sent a tweet, apparently with the intention of getting into the scary Halloween spirit. That's bullshit. If you want to buy that they sent this tweet out because it was Halloween and they were just, sending that out, there would have been no reason for them to put African American woman. They would have put women. They wouldn't have just singled out a group of women if they were doing something. And to think that, it's a joke, to think that it's funny. And I guess they feel they can do it because so many Black women go into their clinic and kill their children, and they're making money hand over fist, and they just are kicking up their heels and laughing, and they thought this was okay. I mean, you're going to come into the clinic anyway, and you're going to kill your child, and you're going to let us make money off of your child, so body parts. So let's go ahead and put this out here. Just blatantly disrespectful, blatantly disgusting. You have to have no soul. If you're a Black woman in America, it's statistically safer to have an abortion than to carry a pregnancy to term or give birth. Hashtag scary stats. That was the tweet. The article reads, Planned Parenthood works in cities with African American women, has been criticized over the years, especially due to the criticism level against Planned Parenthood's founder, Margaret Sanger. She has been called a eugenics enthusiast who, critics argue, saw Planned Parenthood as a way to control the population. Not a way to control the population, to actually commit genocide on Black people and to control our population. Some in the African American community have criticized Planned Parenthood advocacy for abortion access in cities as being Black genocide. That's exactly what it is. Planned Parenthood and supporters have pushed back against their founder, being linked to their founder and her ideas and some of the disgusting stuff that she has said. But how can you take away the very thing that the founder established? Margaret Sanger is forever linked to Planned Parenthood, and that's why I cannot stand those companies. This genocidal, racist, disgusting corporation. And here, these are just people who are commenting regarding the tweet, and this person said, disgusting to encourage people like me to end our future children's lives instead of empowering us to grow healthy human beings. Vile. Couldn't have said it better. And this person said, are you seriously encouraging racism through abortion and on Twitter? Wow, fulfilling your founder's dream. Exactly. And then this person said, why risk your baby dying when you can make sure of it? That's exactly what they're saying. Again, my thoughts about pairing this up with the Kim Kardashian situation is I do think that when people do things, they can have a negative effect on the collective of their group of people. I do feel like since people are pushing this, a lot of women are pushing this, saying this is a woman's issue when you have so many fertility clinics that are within these affluent white neighborhoods. And you're saying that, you know, abortion is a woman's right. There should be abortion clinics everywhere. Since, you know, you say you are the majority, you should have the majority of the Planned Parenthoods in your neighborhood. But we know they're not going to do that, especially with their numbers, how many are being born to how many are dying. They can't keep up their population. But I do believe that when you do stuff like this is what happens. The barrenness of Caucasian women and the infertility of Caucasian men is because of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood affects Black people collectively. So therefore, barrenness and infertility is affecting Caucasian people as a whole. And it is to the point where their numbers are being affected dramatically and at a very fast rate. A woman, to me, it's very surprising that a woman who is as young as 37 years old is having issues, having children. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this message that Planned Parenthood put out to Black women. Them trying to, again, establish that this was just something that happened for Halloween, as if it's a fucking joke to have to go into a clinic and feel that you have to get rid of a human being because you're terrified of whatever situation you're in, or usually it's economic. And let me know if you agree or not with the correlation of so many Planned Parenthoods being put in our neighborhoods to totally try and wipe us from the earth and to stop Black children from taking their first breath and to try and get rid of us. Since they're doing that, is that affecting them as a group to where they are having infertility issues? And I will see you in the next one.